can I walk more than 125 kilometers within 1 week during a heat wave in Spain? Well, turns out I could. However, I didn't know at the start of my pilgrimage that I would never reach the Cathedral of Santiago de Compostela on foot. But more about that later. So I flew into Porto and took a bus straight from the airport to Vigo in Spain. There, my adventure of the Camino Portugues de la Costa, including the spiritual variant, should begin. So I wouldn't say it's day 1, it's day 0. I just arrived in Vigo in Spain, where I'm gonna start tomorrow morning. And I just checked into my hostel, and now I'm looking for the tourist office to get my pilgrim passport. But I'm a bit lost, so let's see. Turns out the tourist office in Vigo doesn't sell the pilgrimage passport, so the lady working there sent me to a souvenir shop called Jamaica, where a lovely guy sold me the pilgrim passport and explained everything to me, how it works, and the passport cost me €3. And I also got a pilgrim shell that I put on my backpack. And when coming back to the hostel, I asked for a stamp and I received my first special stamp. I mean, look at it, it's so cool. After I got my stamp, I just wanted to relax a bit in my hostel. There were about 30 people in that hostel. I don't know the last time I slept in a hostel with so many people in one room. But anyways, so I met 2 guys in my hostel. We went for vegetarian burgers, and with one of them I started the next day to walk to my first destination in Redondela. And yeah, this is what we encountered. We were walking quite early because of the freaking heat wave. We started at 5:30, and this is a tip I can give to you. So start really, really early when you can, also in the dark, just to beat the heat, because you want to be at your destination at 12 or 1 o'clock in the afternoon, because everything else is too hot and you will just suffer. On your Camino, you will always find these stones with the kilometers written on it, so you know how many kilometers are left until Santiago de Compostela. Wait, now we're on the Camino! And then finally we reached Redondela 2 hours too early, so I was sitting in a cafe eating some tortilla, and then I could check in and spend the night in my first accommodation. It was so hot I couldn't sleep, and yeah. The next day started with me crying because of this memorial wall, but then I had the most epic bridge crossing in my life in Arcade. It was just insane. I was walking over this beautiful stone bridge with the sun rising, and I had the best moment. I felt like I'm the pilgrim of the hour, and I'm gonna go over this bridge like thousands of pilgrims did before me. I just walked this bridge. I felt like a real pilgrim from the 15th century. It was epic walking there. I really liked this part of the Camino from Redondela to Pontevedra because there was so much going on, super diverse. There were hills, there were little cute towns, there was forest, there was a river, everything. I just had a great time, and I can totally recommend to walk there. I'm almost in Pontevedra now. This was actually super nice from Redondela to Pontevedra. There's this tunnel here. It's actually quite a nice path. It's my second day on the Camino, and I'm feeling good. Yeah. Shortly after arriving in Pontevedra, I had some time to kill before hostel check-in, so I treated myself to some churros and people watching. Once checked in, I did the whole routine, showered, washed my hair, did laundry, and set out on the terrace to relax. That's when a freaking seagull decided to shit on me. Yes, freshly showered, clean hair, and completely covered in bird crap. What are the actual odds? So after scrubbing myself down for the second time that day, I treat myself to some Korean food and crawl into my bunk in the female dorm to finally get some sleep. I slept so well that night because the hostel had air conditioning, and since I was in a female dorm, absolutely nobody was snoring, so that was great. The next day started early again. Today marked the beginning of the spiritual variant, which would add 2 additional days to my Camino. And along the way, I met a Chinese lady named Jiao Jin, and we ended up walking together for the rest of the day. We were actually so lucky because there was so much fog that day, so it was quite cool even though we were in the midst of a heat wave. Alone in the enchanted forest. I was so fascinated by the eucalyptus trees and the thick mist rolling through them, and honestly, I was super grateful I didn't have to walk through that spooky forest alone, and Xiao Jin felt the exact same way she told me. As we happily made our way to the next seaside town, we watched the mist slowly disappear, and suddenly more and more pilgrims started showing up on the trail. Since we were making really good time, we decided to pull over at the nearby cafe for a quick coffee and a churros break. And then the climb began. Now, coming from Switzerland, this was really more of a hill to me, so nothing too crazy, but once the fog cleared, the sun was absolutely brutal for that last hour, and let's just say a lot of hydration stops were necessary. And then I arrived on top of this hill in my hostel. It was such a beautiful, newly built hostel. They also have private rooms, and also in the dorm there were just 6 beds with curtains, so that's always a plus when you're in a dorm. I went for lunch next to the monastery. This was the only place you could get lunch and dinner. So yeah, I ate my vegetarian lunch there. And then I checked out the monastery and I got my stamp. The nuns there gave me the stamp and it was just so peaceful there. And in the evening they even had a mass for pilgrims and I felt so touched. And I met someone there that I had dinner with. And yeah, it was just a really nice, peaceful town. Not much to do, but I really loved it. On my 4th day, I started actually quite late at 7 o'clock in the morning, and that was not the best decision I made on that day because I didn't know that something really, really bad would happen in the next hour and it would change my whole Camino and all my travel plans. Good morning! It's day 4 on my Camino de Santiago. I'm doing the spiritual variant. Today is the 2nd day and I hope you can see it. No, it's all white. The sun is just rising. It's beautiful. I'm alone on this way. It's around 7:45 and yeah, it's been a great journey so far. Met a lot of people. Also on day 2 I walked completely alone, which was also fine. And now I'm curious about today, and tomorrow should be my last day. So I'm gonna do the Camino from Vigo till Santiago de Compostela in 5 days. But tomorrow will be a hard day. I think around 27 kilometers. And yeah, I'll bring you with me on my journey and enjoy. Short update. So after I recorded this video, a super beautiful part started with waterfalls and the river, and then there was one time I didn't know which way to go and I slipped and I twisted my ankle and it hurt so much. Oh my god, it hurt so much for like 2 minutes, I was like, oh my God, will I ever walk again? This is crazy. And then I was like, shit, like what should I do? And then there were some people, they came, they asked what happened, and they had a cooling spray for twisted ankles or just for cooling. And they helped me, and then I recovered a bit, and then I kept walking, but now I'm like much slower, and I'm not really sure if I'm gonna make it to Santiago on foot this time, because this is gonna swell most probably. So yeah, let's see. So I could only walk like a turtle, and I made a lot of stops, like in this lovely cafe. I was the only person there, but okay. I drank, I ate, and took my time to recover a bit. And then I walked further along this highway. Yeah, sometimes you also walk next to streets, highways, and it's not always the nicest way. But then you find this, I mean, 3 turtles in a river. I was the happiest. I loved it. A couple from Brazil just stopped and gave me this, and I didn't know what to do with it. I thought it's for like a bracelet, but actually it's for your backpack, and it's a thing on the Camino apparently. So yeah, let's put it on my backpack. So the break I took was actually really good. So the people from Portugal who found me after my how to say, I fell, they're here again, and in the morning they put some cooling spray on my ankle, and now I just met them again, and they just gave me this. So nice. And the woman, she was telling me, oh, you need to do this when you arrive, and this and that, and you need to get ice. And they were so nice. They were my Camino angels. Oh, I love it. People are so kind here. I tried to keep going, but my foot swell, and it was much harder to walk. And I needed to make a lot of breaks, which slowed me down. Then the sun came, the heat. It was just unbearable, and I was so happy when I finally arrived at like 6 or 7 in the evening in my hotel in Vilanova de Arousa. And just like that, it was already day 5. I took the small boat from Vilanova de Arousa to Padron, but first, a quick pro tip for you guys. If you're planning this trip, please book your boat ride and all your accommodations way in advance. I thought I could just wing it and be spontaneous, but nope, not on the spiritual variant, okay? So that being said, the boat ride was easily one of my absolute highlights. You cruise past these cool mussel farms, you can spot 12 historic crosses, and even some old Viking ruins. They actually made it all the way here back in the day, which is crazy somehow, but yeah. Fair warning, it gets freezing, even in the summer. So you definitely need long pants, a sweater, a windbreaker, and the ride takes about an hour to an hour and a half. So definitely come prepared. Don't forget to get your Pedronia. You can do that by getting a first stamp at the church, then go to the tourist office and you can buy it there. It's a super nice souvenir. For me, there was no way anymore to walk, so I took a bus from Padron to Santiago de Compostela. There, I checked into my hotel, and they gave me this ice thingy to put on my foot. That was so nice, and then I started to explore very slowly with my hiking sticks Santiago de Compostela, which is a super nice place, but is full with people, full with pilgrims, super nice atmosphere, super uplifting, and it was nice to be there. But I felt a bit weird because I actually didn't walk into Santiago de Compostela. I took a freaking bus, so yeah. I'm still very proud of my achievement, and I know I could do it if my foot wasn't swollen. So I actually already planned my next Camino, and the 3 days that I actually had reserved to visit Finisterre or other places in Galicia, I couldn't do that because I needed to rest for a lot of time. So I was just staying in Santiago de Compostela, which at the same time had a huge music festival. And yeah, the hotel prices were quite high. I was super happy that I had a travel insurance that covered for this hotel. And so yeah, I stayed there. I got my Compostela, and I also met my travel buddy from the first day that you also saw in the video and had actually a super nice time in Santiago. If you have any questions about the Camino, especially with the spiritual variant, feel free to leave me a comment and I will answer it. And please subscribe to my channel. More videos like that will come for sure. And explore already the existing videos on my channel. Give me a like and thanks so much for joining me on my Camino de Santiago. Buen camino!